While many of my childhood friends had their hands on toy cars and superhero figurines, I had mine on model aeroplanes. I've always loved looking up to the sky whenever I heard fighter jets roaring by. Every National Day, I'll be full of anticipation for the flypast performed by the RSAF. Witnessing the jets in full afterburner and in formation, as well as the Chinook flying up state colours high up in the air, never failed to make me beam with national pride and admiration. That sense of pride inspires me to step up and be the next generation.
SYFC only accepts the best students with the right attitude and aptitude. We had to meet stringent assessment criteria in order to be accepted as a pilot trainee here. I shared with the wing pilots about my passion during the interview and then proceeded for the medical screening. I waited anxiously for the results, hoping I'd make the cut to be accepted as a student pilot here. When I was informed of my successful enrollment, it dawned onto me that my dreams were finally about to take flight. Looking back, it was one of the best decisions that I've made by far.
Upon successfully entering the course, I was put together with a group of students which had similar interests and aspirations as I had. As such, it didn't take long for us to bond well together, despite coming from various backgrounds and schools. Flying an aircraft has always been a risky undertaking, and it requires experience to be proficient. Here in SYFC, the simulators is used to teach us the basics of flying before our actual flight. Through the simulator sessions coupled with the lessons covered in the CAI and lectures, we gained the confidence we needed to perform for our flights.
After several weeks of the orientation phase, we embarked on a flying journey. I vividly remember that on my first sortie, I was beyond excited as it was my first time in a small propeller plane. The delight of seeing Singapore from just a few thousand feet in the air was accompanied by the realization that flying involved more than just a dream, but putting our words into action. This involved the numerous checks we had to carry out consistently, on top of keeping within the training area and dealing with instructions from air traffic controllers.
The learning curve was the steepest in our BFC phase, but by the end of it, we were able to pilot the aircraft all on our own. My first solo flight was truly a memorable milestone. It proved that I was proficient enough to maneuver the aircraft safely without the assistance of my instructor. It also gave me the confidence to advance through the more challenging PPL phase ahead.
The complexities of flying were introduced to us here in the PPL phase. Flying was no longer just about taking off and landing safely. Instead, the focus shifted more towards flying with finesse. We were placed under scenarios where we had to practice different emergency procedures to prepare ourselves for anything that might happen in the air. While keeping up with the highly demanding flying program, we had to diligently prepare for our CAAS examination papers. Eventually, after the rigorous training, we were ready to face the final obstacle before attaining our PPL, the final handling test. This test assesses us on the ability to act as a responsible pilot in command of the aircraft. Eventually, everything I learned paid off and my HT went well. Looking back, thanks to the support from all the flight instructors as well as my course mates, I have indeed come a long way since my first flight.
We would like to thank Mr. Pritwan, Mr. Lee CH, Mr. Raman, Mr. Sim CK, Mr. Toby H,
Mr. Cheeks, Mr. SL,
Mr. Gosiel, Mr. Lion T,
Mr. David,
Mr. Siva, Mr. Ng MH, Mr. Mali,
Mr. Wong CC,
Mr. CISL,
Mr. Tan SK,
Mr. Willie Chow,
Mr. Andy Tan.
for all their invaluable support and encouragement throughout our flying journey. They not only imparted to us flying knowledge, but also demonstrated to us what it takes to be a respectable pilot, mentor, and individual. Without them, we would not be where we are today.
Having completed the entire course, I am now an alumnus of Singapore Youth Flying Club. Along with a sense of gratitude, I feel that it is now my responsibility to come back and impart the knowledge I have acquired through my journey here to the newer batches of students, just as how my seniors had done for my classmates and I. During my BFC phase, I often struggled trying to juggle my studies and SYFC commitments. Fortunately, my seniors were there during the weekly mentoring sessions to provide me with tips on how to prioritize and better manage my time. Now, I feel that it is my turn to do the same for the next batch of aspiring pilots.
In the blink of an eye, my flying journey at SYFC has come to a close. I had initially signed up with the intention of learning how to fly only. However, the training here has taught me many life skills and molded my mentality such that I'm now better able to deal with stress and disappointments. At SYFC, I met understanding instructors who were there to guide us at every step of the way, and ground crew members whose effort enabled us to proceed with every flight smoothly. There were also my fellow coursemates who genuinely cared about my progress in both flying and in school, and could always be counted on for support. The friendships formed here are certainly ones that I will cherish for a long time. Indeed, the final attainment of the PPL no longer matters as much, for it is the journey we look back on with fond memories that will stay with us for a lifetime.